people are. We still have people coming in. Okay, very good. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome, everybody. My name is Greg Smith. I'm Executive Director of the Florida Literacy Coalition. Pleased that you're able to join us here this afternoon for this session I've been looking forward to on using AI, and specifically using AI within ESOL education. There's a lot of opportunities to use this new and evolving technology, and we're very pleased today to have somebody who has some real expertise on this. And before I introduce her, I did want to shout out to the Florida Department of Education for their support in helping to make this webinar possible. Our presenter today is Anna Gandrabura, who is a seasoned ESOL educator and also the founder of an educational technology company called English for IT, where they're teaching people English skills at the same time as they're teaching IT skills. She's the author of a textbook also called English for Tech, and an interactive workbook called So Tell Me About Yourself. I think you'll find that she's quite knowledgeable about this subject area. We talked in some detail about ChatGPT and some of the other tools that she uses and that they're starting to incorporate into their platform, and in particularly with this with an interest in how to harness AI as a tool for teaching and learning English. So we're really pleased to have you with us today, Anna. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Greg. Thank you. And hi, everyone. Welcome to this webinar on the future of technology, right? And today we're talking about AI. Greg did a fantastic introduction of myself. Like Greg said, I have been in education technology space for 15 plus years, and I'm enthusiastic about any new tech that is out there. That is why hopefully today's webinar is going to be useful for you guys. But also I wanted to make not just the webinar, me talking, but I want it to be hands-on. So if you're ready to roll up your sleeves and practice as we go, that would be fantastic. Let me start sharing my presentation, and I can continue talking a little bit more about what I do, and we can just dive into it. So let me see if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, let me just go full screen mode here. Awesome. All right, so today we're talking about AI for ESOL. We are going to explore tools, techniques, and transformation that AI brings to the ESOL space. The presentation that you're going to see today was created by AI. well, I was supervising AI, but all the pictures, all the illustrations that you can see, AI created for me, and I will also teach you how you can do the same thing for your presentation, for your classroom activities, and just like generally for any interaction that you have in the future, how AI can support you. I'm Anna Gandrabura. Once again, I'm the founder of English for IT. We teach tech professionals improve their English. We help tech professionals improve their English and soft skills to build their careers. When I started working in this space 10, 12 years ago, I could find no materials. If you can, when you join, if you can mute yourself, that would be fantastic. Thank you. I couldn't find any useful materials for the tech space because the books, such books as English for Information Technology, they are more for students who are learning about, like computers and peripherals and things like that. But for people who actually work in the tech space, it was difficult. That's why I authored a textbook, English for Tech. I also have a blog on social media, on Instagram, Instagram, it grew pretty big. I create short educational and like education and entertainment video to help ESOL students learn English. I'm originally from Odessa, which is in Ukraine, and I am based in Miami now. In today's webinar / workshop, I would like to cover the essentials of AI, how we can apply AI and teach in English, how we can help our students use AI in order to succeed in their learning, how we can help ourselves as educators create lesson plans, create quizzes, create, assessments and other things. And also I really want us to practice. I want you to try using AI tools today during this webinar and see how you can create a lesson plan or any other thing that you decide to create at the end of the webinar. So before we get started, I would like to gauge how many of you actually use ChatGPT. So if you can just drop in the chat how often you use ChatGPT or like AI, well, we can say it's an AI tool or any other AI tool. So you can just put the number or the word just to see. Okay. Yeah, if you use not ChatGPT, but for example, Google Bard or Bing, Microsoft Bing, that's another AI tool, absolutely. Okay, so we have a mix of here. Okay. All right. Awesome. Amazing. So I think it will be useful for everyone because I try to cater to both beginners and people who are already using the technology. All righty. Awesome. I have another question that I would like you to answer. What do you use if you use ChatGPT? Or any other AI tool like Bard or Bing, Microsoft Bing? What do you use it for? The same thing, you can just drop the number. If you have your answer, feel free to share your answer. Blog posts, okay. Grant writing, okay, awesome. Creating activities. Number 4, Googling things, okay. Create stories, amazing. Lesson planning, great. Nothing. Well, yeah, if you don't use ChatGPT, nothing. Okay, lesson planning. Mostly writing projects. Again, creating lesson activities. Playing with resumes. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of applications, summarizing, Googling. Yeah. There's a lot of application. We're going to talk about this. But of course, I would like to keep this session more specific to ESOL. So how we can leverage AI in classroom, in classroom teaching and also, interacting with students. But before, so I ran the same survey in my community, which is not just a community of teachers, it's a community of people who are learning English, who are teaching English, who have technical background and who don't have any technical background. So you see the results, how often people use ChatGPT. To be honest, I was surprised, not in a positive way, because if we don't leverage AI every day, it means with considering the speed that AI is entering the world and our lives, technically we're missing out. That is why using AI tools a few times a week is not enough to stay up to date. That is why I hope the number of using AI every day is going to increase, because since I work with the top tech companies, and tech is driving all this thing. Tech companies, they want their employees to be able to use AI tools in their work every day so that they can optimize processes inside the company. That is why for us, like people, you know, educators, it's also very important to stay up to date and use this AI tools on the daily. So hopefully after today's webinar, you will use it more if you haven't been using it already. All right, so for those who are beginners into AI, what is AI, right? So technically, I would like to say that I want to say that AI, and it is like technically learning a new language. And for us, for people like who are teaching languages, it should be understandable how to deal with this, with AI. So technically, you know, AI and artificial intelligence, this is a simulation of human interaction, but with the machine, right? So technically, think about this interaction as if there is a human on the other side of, I don't know, your screen, and you're chatting with them. And that way it will be easier for you to understand how the machine thinks, right? And in the era of AI, we have this new skill that becomes the power skill of the future. It's called AI prompting. What does it mean? AI prompting, this is the way you ask your AI to do something for you, right? So that's called AI prompting. And that's like the skill that we're going to practice today, but also this is the skill that will make you stand out from the rest of the crowd, because a lot of people are actually, they think AI is not there yet, but this is not true. They just haven't, you know, learned how to prompt AI properly to get the results that they want. So if we combine AI's power with our unique human creativity, then technically we have no limits. Yeah, we can achieve anything. So let's see how we can do it for our ESOL goals. This is what people think in the Bay Area. This is, you know, where all the tech is being created. And I really like this tweet of like really big AI enthusiast in the Bay Area, when he's talking about AI first mindset. So just like, I wanted to share it with you because I just want you to understand how big this thing is now in the world and in the United States in particular, and it's going to be only growing. So the sooner we embrace it, the better it is for us, because like, you know, we will have to do it anyway. So people are talking about AI first mindset, you know, when a lot of people are still struggling to understand what growth mindset is, right? Your lifelong learning. Here we have a new notion, AI first mindset. And this is when, what it means is that you talk to your AI before you do anything else. And that's what modern technology development is about now, right? So like, if you want to build a company, first you talk to AI, find out if there is such a company, or if such a company already exists, if you want to create it, or if you need to create it, or you want to explore other ideas. So that's what, you know, that this is where we are at this point. And for educators, people like us, right, it's really important to understand that everything is changing here, because the role of a teacher is evolving, right? Teachers are going to are becoming facilitators, right? Teachers, we are becoming facilitators where we guide students to use technology in the classroom, and we integrate this technology in the classroom, but also we integrate technology in our teacher life, because with the help of AI, technically, with the help of AI, we all have a personal teacher assistant. Yeah, we all have a teacher's assistant now. And I don't know how many of you actually have teacher's assistant or would like to have. It's all real here, right? So you can have your AI partner, AI assistant as your teacher's assistant, and technically you are never alone preparing for your lessons and assessing students assignments, or even like, you know, teaching the class. So I would like to talk about AI tools. And I see that some of you already mentioned that they use Google Bard. That's technically ChatGPT created by Google. There is Microsoft Bing, that is another ChatGPT created by Microsoft, and there is ChatGPT that is launched by OpenAI, a separate company. So now these big tech companies, they create their version of ChatGPT, just like, and they're like leveraging the tools that they have and trying to compete, make their AI better than the competitors. And so this is what's happening now in the world. But also, there are apps that has been out there, for some time. And these apps, like pretty much every technology company now, are trying to incorporate AI and to make their technology better. So I'm going to talk about some popular apps that you might be already using in classroom, but now they also added AI features. How many of you are using the Kahoot? Yeah, it's very popular, right? Everyone is using it. So what they did now, like if you read about them, they call themselves AI company, right? Pretty much every app now is an AI app. However, I want you to question these things, because you really have to understand what exactly they're doing. For example, for Kahoot, they integrated such a feature as AI question generator. So you can just, again, it's a prompt. You write a prompt, and the system automatically creates questions that are going to match your topic, right? And but because they have this interface, the questions are already created for you in these cards, so you can use it right away with your students. So it saves you time. You don't need to input these questions separately, but most importantly, you don't need to create these questions, because that's time consuming. You will have to come up with these questions yourself, or recycle questions from from other resources. So technically, with the generative AI, why is it called generative? Because it creates new information all the time. You can create new questions on the same topic. You're not going to be repeating this question. So this is amazing. This is going to be super interesting for students. And super easy for you, because you just need to add one prompt, one sentence, and it's going to create absolutely new material for you. Absolutely new, that has never been used before, created before. So that's how companies are leveraging AI technology. They are adding these new features based on what they already have. Now let's take a look at another company. Have you heard about Grammarly? Right, Grammarly. You use Grammarly to proofread your writing, right? Usually like your emails, it corrects not only spelling, but also grammar and style, and like a few other things, right? So for example, you can use Grammarly. Well, it was AI based from the very beginning. When we talk about classroom teaching or like student interaction, you can recommend that your students use Grammarly to correct their writing before they submit their assignments to you, so that you don't need to focus on like spelling or basic grammar mistakes, but instead students can find out these mistakes and correct these low-level errors themselves. And then you're gonna spend just time on revising more advanced and more like higher level mistakes in this writing. So technically here you can leverage it for student assignments. Another app that I wanted to talk about, it's pronunciation. I don't know if you've heard about ELSA. ELSA is an application that helps students improve their pronunciation. They also released, again, from the ground up, this app has been AI driven. So that's like original, even before all the AI hype. So you can use this app in classroom, because they actually launched a teacher dashboard. So as a teacher, you have your own dashboard, and you can bring students on board and you can create your pronunciation lessons for particular students for their needs. So the app adapts to whatever you need, whatever you want to create for your students. So this can be like a helpful tool. And at the same time, students can practice on their own, but you will see their progress in your dashboard. So it's pretty cool if you have to teach pronunciation, let's say. And again, it's AI. So like when I say AI, what it does in this language learning apps, what AI mostly does, it personalizes your learning experience. So when the students are using these apps, the app it adapts to their learning. It like the way AI works, it learns. You can train it, right? So it learns from data. So the more your student is doing tasks on the app, the more the app is actually learning about the student, you know, and can adapt the material later on. So also pretty cool. So you see, I tried to pick like some major apps that can be used for you know, major skills when we teach major skills. And yeah, I have a question here. Yeah, by the way, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. We will be watching the chat, and if the question is relevant in the moment, I will address it. So I have a question here from Jess. Is this paid, only in paid Kahoot? Most of the features, like if you want to have advanced features like this, they will charge you, because I will tell you why. AI is not free. Companies have to pay for this. My platform, we use AI on my platform for personalized mentors feedback. So like when students submit their assignments, we use AI to assess these assignments. We have to pay. As a tech company, we have to pay for this. This is not free. OpenAI charges for this. That is why, like, if you want to have more advanced features like this, like teacher dashboard in ELSA or like other things, you are more likely to be charged for this. However, I'm going to tell you just right now in a moment how you can bypass it. Some life hacks to bypass payment. So, like I said, these companies, they integrated AI and made it compatible to what they have built previously. However, all these features are available in ChatGPT. Well, except for the pronunciation, because like ELSA, they have been building their algorithms since I think 2015. So that's a long time, and they use like a lot of real data, like, you know, AI before this hype, it was complex, it was different. So pretty much anything that you have just heard, you know, writing assignments, creating flashcards, creating whatever other like pronunciation lessons, you know, you can create it with the ChatGPT. ChatGPT, OpenAI tool, because this is the tool. This is where all these companies, this is where they take the data and they try to adapt it to what they already have, what they have already built. So, for example, this is what you can use ChatGPT for, and they have the free version. That's why I'm saying, like, they have the paid version, but they also have the free version, which works amazingly pretty much. You can start with the free version and you'll be able to do pretty much any of these things that I have listed here. So you can use ChatGPT for ESL, of course, for interactive language practice with your students. Like, for example, you can introduce ChatGPT to your students, and even in class as a classroom activity where your student has to chat with ChatGPT. And you know, when you're learning a language, the biggest fear is the fear of judgment. They're gonna think I'm stupid because I make this mistake, right? This is the stumbling block. This is this barrier that prevents people from progressing faster. When you interact with technology, you don't have this fear of judgment. So this is pretty cool. Writing improvement. I saw that a lot of you already have shared that you use ChatGPT for writing, to write a blog post or to write a grant request and things like that. You can do the same thing with students, and also you can use it to give feedback on writing, because technically the way it works, you can give ChatGPT, you can feed it any amount of information, even if you have to feed it like a 50-page thesis or something, and you want like a summary, or you want to proofread this piece of text, it will do it in less than a minute, you know. So that's the beauty of it. ChatGPT can be helping with homework. For students, it's understanding the assignment. They can use it to understand assignment. For you as teachers, this is creating assignments, pretty much any assignment that you want to create. You can use ChatGPT, of course, to customize and create learning material, create worksheets, create lesson plans, create quizzes, create, I don't know, warm-up activities, pretty much anything that you now use in your lessons, but you go to specific websites or you create it yourself. Now you can do it with the help of ChatGPT. It doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. You can make it close to perfect, but it means that you're going to have more time to adjust it, to modify it, to make it better. Of course, using ChatGPT as Google is, ChatGPT is the new Google for cultural insights, for teaching idioms, slang. Again, it will be really cool. Like, for example, the other day I was creating a script for my new video on cross-cultural communication, effective cross-cultural communication, and I didn't know much about how business is done in certain countries. So it was like an amazing learning opportunity for me as an instructor, but at the same time I was able to put it together in a beautiful script for my video lesson. And of course, with the help of AI is perfect, because it's the beauty of AI is that it really adapts to your needs. The only thing that you have to do, you have to learn how to interact with AI correctly. And that's my favorite part. Let's learn the basics of how to interact with AI correctly. Now, the first thing that we need to do is to educate ourselves. And I'm really happy that you're here. It means we are already doing it, so you don't have to do this homework yourself. The way AI works is the more information you give to AI, the better it's going to work for you and with you. And a lot of people actually disregard this fact, but it's a really important thing to do. If you go to the website, to the OpenAI website, let me share the website link for those of you who don't have it.
Anna, there's some pretty interesting comments in the chat.
Yeah.
There was a question by Greg that he asked, how do you think ChatGPT compares to MS Bing?
Yeah.
He reads that Bing accesses the internet in real time and ChatGPT doesn't.
That's a good question. Yeah, so Microsoft Bing has this leverage of having direct access to the internet. So the way it works, that ChatGPT, if you're asking certain information that is like live, real time, it doesn't have access. But to be honest, Greg, yesterday, I was working with ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT to get information that had to be taken from Google, and it did give it to me. So the thing is that they are updating this thing so quickly that, like, before, like last week, I asked ChatGPT to give me a list of websites for certain companies and it wouldn't do it to me. It wouldn't give it. And yesterday I asked ChatGPT to give create a list of websites for like a list of companies, and this is what it said. It said, I'm extracting information from Google. That was the text, and it actually gave me a list of these websites. But yeah, Microsoft Bing does have live access to the internet. It means that you know, it works better for you if you're looking for real-time updates. But like I said, ChatGPT, I think they might have also released this update, because like they have released a whole bunch of new updates last week. Okay, and next we have another question. Okay, so yeah, so that's I see another question from David. Let me address it just in a minute here, because this is what I wanted to start. This is what I wanted to tell you. When you're setting up your ChatGPT, if you really wanted to work as your personal assistant, you have to let ChatGPT know a little bit about you. Of course, like David is sharing here, some people have advised that when adding information in ChatGPT, one should be careful not to add personal information, address, phone, personal information about yourself, your family, etc. What do you think about this? Well, yeah, don't give personal information like your documents, like your social security number, like, you know, like real information that you would not want to give away to anyone technically, right? But let's say when you introduce yourself to me at a networking event, what are you going to tell me? Think about that. So I would say that in this field, when you're setting up your ChatGPT or your any other AI agent, just create a personal elevator pitch that you share with public and add it here, like about your hobbies, your interests, your name, what do you do for work. Like, don't give details about your salary or like, you know, other things, but like information that you are willing to share with people in general. That is not sensitive, but you have to be mindful, of course, about that. Like, don't share like super personal details. But what I did, I shared my personal elevator pitch that I share at events when I meet people, you know, that I shared with you at the beginning of this webinar. And you know, that was enough. I saw a tremendous difference in the way AI was responding to me before I did this and after I did that. That is why, again, you can, like, if you're going to use AI for teaching, just include information that is relevant to your teaching career, and talk more about what students you teach. I don't know what kind of subjects you teach, your teaching styles, your teaching methods, because based on this information, AI will be able to give you response that are more relevant to what you want. And then you don't need to make your prompt super detailed, because AI already knows that. Okay, so the link, yes, let me share the link. So there is a web version, and also there is a mobile app, so it's very convenient. Here, the link that you can use to create your profile or like authenticate yourself. And then this screen can be found under settings. So when you go to settings, when there's your name, so you click on your name and there's settings, and then you can find custom instructions, and this is where you add those custom instructions. Yeah. Okay, so how do you know which ChatGPT you use? There is another question. It's only one ChatGPT. You can, based on your questions, you can start new chats. So it is recommended that for each individual request, you have a separate chat. Let me give you an example. For example, I use ChatGPT to create lesson materials. So I keep a separate chat just to create lesson materials. Then I train this particular chat to work in this direction. Now, I also use ChatGPT to create blog posts, because I'm a content creator. So I write blog posts and share them on LinkedIn. I create a separate, within the same agent, I create a separate ChatGPT, a separate chat, a new chat, where I only work with this chat, in this chat, about content, creating content. Now, if I want to say, let's say I want to do something for my personal thing. For example, I want to brainstorm with ChatGPT what I should get my mom for Christmas, right? So I will create a new chat. So it is, if you want to receive proper feedback and proper responses to your requests, it's better to create a new chat within your ChatGPT for each request that you have, including lesson planning, including, I don't know, a new student that you have, a new group, a new course that you are teaching. Alrighty, let's move on to we're gonna dive into how to create that perfect prompt, because a lot of times people get discouraged and they say ChatGPT doesn't work for me, or AI doesn't work for me. It's like it generates stupid answers, or it's not like I can create better. Well, it's probably not because it's stupid. It's probably because you are not framing your prompt correctly. Now, prompt is the request that you're giving AI when you need something. So try to follow this framework. If you can follow all these, 5 steps, that would be wonderful, because the more background, the more information you give in your request, the better the response is going to be. Actually, let me share. Yeah, okay. So here's what you need to do. So first you assign a role to your ChatGPT. So for example, if you want your ChatGPT to create a lesson plan for you, you can say, this is how you start your prompt. You are a teacher's assistant. Now action. Create a lesson plan. Now context. For a group of adult students whose level is pre-intermediate and who are learning English for a career in technology. So you give as much context as you have. Then you can even add an example. How do you want this lesson? Like, what do you want this lesson to be like? Or what should go in this lesson, right? You can even copy paste the lesson that you already have, and you can tell ChatGPT to create a similar lesson following the steps that you are giving the ChatGPT, and then add format. For example, you want the lesson to be 60 minutes or 90 minutes or whatever, right? So the more information you give, the better it is, the better the response is going to be. And here I have let me see, let me just I have a so I'm going to, after the webinar, Giovanna is going to share with you the presentation, but also useful links. There is a very useful PDF that has more information about prompting so that you can deep dive into it. This, I just decided for the presentation, I just decided to extract the most important information from different sources. So I will share with you extra resources where you can read more about AI prompting and you can see how it works in real life. But like this is technically the framework that you want to use every time you give your AI a prompt, regardless whether you're using ChatGPT or you're using Microsoft Bing or you're using anything else, right? Let's see. Yeah, I do have the tips. Actually, I'm glad that we're aligning with what you guys want to have next, because let's talk about the activities and examples of activities that ChatGPT, practice exercises that ChatGPT can actually create. First of all, it's building all sorts of quizzes, tests, lesson plans, activities from scratch. You can do this all from scratch, but also you can do this from the curriculum that you already have. Like I said, you can just imagine ChatGPT is just like our chat now on Zoom. But there is no human behind it. There is a machine behind it. Yeah. And you just, like, as if you were asking me, like, Anna, can you create a lesson material for this and this, for such and such, and this is what I want. Yeah, so this is how you work with it. So technically you can create all these new activities either from scratch, or you can give ChatGPT what you already have, your curriculum, and you can tell ChatGPT, I want you to create, based on this curriculum. That's what you can do. Next, and again, lesson plans are created super neat. Like, I will show you the example of it, but let's see what else. So for example, this is a real interaction with ChatGPT. One of the teachers from my team from English for IT shared how he uses ChatGPT to lesson plan. Look what he does. Like, he is very detailed in the way he talks to ChatGPT. And this is what he says: you are teacher's assistant, ESL teacher for adult students in business world with emphasis on information technology, because he teaches specifically tech professionals. All lessons online with Zoom. You see, like, he gives more context. Elaborate procedure for specific lessons. Do not just provide a general description. Like, now this is one of AI's faults. It might get a little bit too general, and this is where you get frustrated and you want to give up on it. But remember, interaction with AI is just like interaction with a human being. If you want to come to some consensus, or you want to come to an agreement, you have to create a dialogue. That's what you create with AI too. You create a dialogue. It's called prompt chaining, a prompt chain. So instead of just giving it one prompt, you have to go back and forth. You have to iterate on like the responses. So be prepared for that, But once you know how it works, you can predict this generalization, and you can tell it, like, do not generalize, right? Each lesson is 90 minutes total, 30 minutes grammar and blah, blah, blah. And then you see, it's a very long prompt. So John here, he knows what he wants. And he gives all the examples, like what he wants. He wants a vocabulary section. He wants a phrasal verb section. He wants idiom section. He wants pronunciation section. So technically, he gives all the description of what he wants, and then he gets the lesson that is really, really up to point here, and like what he wants for his students. So that's how you can use it. Now let's look at the example. I created a speaking practice session using ChatGPT. Let me share what we have here. You'll have this link too, by the way, so you can refer to it later. In the meantime, let me share another screen with you here. So this is what I asked ChatGPT to do. Let me know if you can see my screen. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, perfect. So this is what I said. You are an ESL teacher's assistant. Create a speaking lesson for a group of 6 adult students. Formulate a speaking practice session on the topic making small talk at the beginning of the meeting. Create a step-by-step instruction for this activity. And this is what we have. Let me know what you think of it. Let's judge ChatGPT. After all, it's just a machine. So you see, ChatGPT already knows my name because I introduced myself. So every time we have an interaction, it's very personalized. He says, hi, Anna. Yeah, so this is the lesson plan. Making small talk at the beginning of a meeting. Objective, duration. Although I didn't state the duration, so it might be the problem for me, because let's say I want the duration to be 90 minutes, right? So I would have to reiterate my request. Materials. Scenario cards with different meeting contexts, vocabulary and phrasal verbs, phrase sheets, and timer. Warm-up activity, suggestion for the warm-up activity, then vocabulary introduction, suggestion, then role play, suggestion, then, feedback session and conclusion. What do you think of this lesson plan for this speaking lesson plan? How do you feel about it? Feel free to jump into the conversation.
That's good. I have one thing I wanted to mention, Anna.
Yeah.
I think you've touched on with your reiteration piece, but I'm far from an expert, but I tend to sometimes be less specific on my first request, see what it generates, and then ask it to refine it, make it shorter, add to this component, take away that, so that you can kind of know what you're working with from the beginning, And it
Yeah.
is sort of a back and forth process. I just want to, for those that haven't used it in that way, you don't have to kind of start from scratch with a new question. You can ask it to take what it's provided you and refine it in ways that you want it to, make some changes.
Absolutely. I just wanted to say that if you're more specific at the beginning, you might get a better response, because a lot of times people just get discouraged. They don't understand that you actually have to go back and forth, because this is iteration, right? And people just want it to be perfect from the first attempt, but it's not. It might be, and like we never know, because it's generative AI. It generates like new things. So like one time you can run the same prompt, and one prompt can be perfect on the same request. I mean, not prompt, the response can be perfect on the same prompt, and the other response is not going to be perfect. So like, you really don't know. But with this activity, you know what I realized, what I'm missing here? I am missing, I'm missing the actual worksheets. I'm missing the actual vocabulary and phrase sheets. I don't want to come up, like, I don't want to spend time now creating these phrases. So I asked ChatGPT, give three, first of all, scenarios. It suggested scenarios, but like, what are the scenarios? I don't want to like come up with the scenarios. So give 3 different scenarios. I'm continuing the conversation. And now ChatGPT is giving me first scenario, first time client meeting. Scenario 2, weekly team meeting. Scenario 3, international video conference. And again, giving me like what has to be done, context, objective, possible topics, right? But then I realized that I need to create vocabulary and phrase sheets for each scenario. Again, I don't want to create it myself. I asked ChatGPT to follow up on that. Look at this, pretty perfect. Now, the thing that I have to is just create cards, for example, and for my let's say offline classroom or online classroom, right? So it gives me vocabulary to be used, I mean for students to be used, and phrases. There you go. So it took me 3 prompts, 3 iterations to get what I really want. What do you think?
There's a couple of comments in the meeting chat, I think, from your earlier request. I think you've addressed some of this, but one, James, not specifically tailored to the topic. It could add more detail about the points you should make with your students to be effective. Jamie says, does it create the materials needed for the lesson plan? So you've touched on that a little bit, right?
Yeah, well, that's the material that you need, activities for your lesson plan. You can ask ChatGPT, first of all, to come up with these activities, and then, well, first of all, come up with ideas for activities, and then come up with activities that, like, so you see, like, you iterate, like there are stages for it, right? So you go from one stage, you go from like a bigger idea to like smaller tasks technically for it. And yeah, you can create anything. You can create a speaking activity like this, a vocabulary activity, a grammar activity. Well, I have more. Let me show you more. Let me go back to my presentation. And let's take a look at other activities that we can create with ChatGPT. Role play. Now, this is one of the greatest things, because now your students, first of all, they can get more practice outside of the classroom, because you can encourage your students to use AI as their conversation partner. For example, your students can ask AI to be a recruiter, and they can practice job interview questions, or a boss who is delivering some feedback in a specific way, or they can even ask AI to be their tutor and teach them a specific grammar topic. I'm learning Spanish, and I have so much fun using AI to teach me Spanish, on top of my tutoring, with a real teacher. So like, if I didn't understand a certain topic during the lesson, and I just want to dive deep into it, I ask AI to teach me, and this is what I do. I practice vocabulary, I do my assignment that my teacher gave me. So technically that's like extra practice, because students don't usually get enough practice in the classroom. This is something extra that they can do, and this is fun. well, as long as you introduce this to them, or they know how to use it. Now, like I said earlier, AI is moving really quickly and changing really quickly. So this is this brand new update that they just released last week. Now anyone without any coding skills can create their own AI agent. And this AI agent can be given any role that you wanted to have. I personally didn't have an opportunity to create my own agent yet because it's been so new. But now, for example, if I want to create a Spanish tutor, I can do it. And this is going to be like a separate agent who is going to be doing only tutoring. If I want to have a personal assistant who's going to respond to my emails, on my behalf, I can do that. I can give the agent access to my Gmail, to my calendar, and it will be able to set up meetings, to chat with people, to email people on my behalf. If I want to have a therapist, I can create an AI agent, and it's going to be my therapist, right? So if you want to have your personal teacher's assistant, your personal assistant for teaching, you can create that agent. But this is a plugin, so it's in a paid version. Right, so it's in the paid version. All the other things that we've just been talking with you about, they are in the free version. It's the free version. This one is paid version. So like more advanced things, like I said, they charge money for this. So that's like a new thing that you can explore. So if any of you have been already exploring AI and like more or less familiar with this, feel free to try it, and feel free to see like how it can help you with teaching and student engagement. Now, I already mentioned this, more practice outside of the classroom, encouraging your students to use AI. But also remember, I saw like in the chat, some of you mentioned this, it's important to remember about critical thinking. Not everything that AI is telling you is necessarily the truth, right? So you have to like remember yourself, but also remind your students to use critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity skills. We cannot completely rely on the machine, right? Again, when we talk about AI, we have to remember that it is partnership. It's a partnership agreement between a human being and a machine, but it's not like AI is leading what you want to do or you want to have. It's more like you as a human being, because you have more skills than the machine, right? Because you have all the power skills, problem solving, creativity. This is like you are actually in charge of this process. So that is why it's really important not to fall into this state where you like relying on AI and whatever it tells you completely. It's really important, because like, for example, when I was preparing for today's webinar, I used, of course, ChatGPT to generate some ideas, and quite frankly, like some ideas were completely redundant. Like it would tell me, I would ask like, give me a list of cool AI tools, and it would just give me a list of just online tools that have nothing to do with AI, or very little to do with AI. So I had to, of course, to do my extra research on that, so like things like that, it's really important to take this into account. Yeah, like I just said, your intuition, your creativity, and your empathy skills, when you combine them with AI on the daily, then you will thrive as a professional, and then it will make it easier for you. AI will make your work life easier for you. Now I want to share with you some real examples from real teachers and how they use AI in classroom. Again, here's James, one of the teachers I work with. I really love this idea, how he leveraged ChatGPT in his classroom. And now this is a creative task, because ChatGPT in the paid version has an extension to create pictures, to create illustrations. Like the picture I created for this presentation, where you could see a me, like my headshot at the very beginning, or some other illustrations. I created these illustrations with the ChatGPT, and specifically the paid version that is that has the image generation feature. So this is what you can do. You can tell your students to write prompts to create certain pictures. Like he said, the students had to write prompts that would advertise English for IT during Halloween. It was during the Halloween time. And they had, of course, a lot of fun. This is, our classes are all online, so it is all over Zoom. People are in front of their computers and they are in breakout rooms, so it's easy for them to interact. It's easy for them to screen share. You know, this is like technically what we're doing with you guys here. And this is what they had. And these pictures, students generated these pictures with the help of AI prompts. Pretty amazing, because you can see that it even allows you to add text to your pictures. And then, of course, you can do so many things. Yeah, you can have discussions. You can have like a picture guessing activity. You can, your creativity shouldn't stop here. And I think James' creativity didn't stop here either. But I also wanted to share with you how I use this for picture generating. Let me actually again share my screen to show you how I did this prompt specifically. So there's a question while I'm logging in here. The student has to pay to do that. Well, yeah, if you want to use the pictures in classroom, everyone should have a paid version. But if you want to use just like for conversation, no picture generation, you don't have to have, like, you don't need a paid version. Okay, so let me show you what I did for picture illustration, for picture generation. So here is the prompt that I created. And again, if you go back to the framework for prompt creation, I use the framework. You are a graphic designer, so I tell AI what it is. Yeah, you are a graphic designer, create a worksheet illustration. So I created a worksheet, and I want it to have an illustration, right, to make it look nice. The worksheet is for an ESL lesson to practice small talk in a weekly meeting. The graphic has to be flat design. Well, this is the type of design. 3 professionals sitting in a modern office ready for the meeting to start and chatting. They all work for a startup. Their office is laid back, as well as the way they all look. They are a diverse team. The graphic has to be landscape format, and then I give exactly the size I want the graphic to be, the colors I want the picture to be, and this is what came out. Pretty cool, I guess. I was happy with the first iteration, so I stopped iterating the pictures on the pictures. But then again, what you can do if like your students don't have the paid version, you have the paid version, you can generate different pictures for your classroom activities, right? So that give these pictures to students, and they can describe the picture. So you can do like many things with these pictures. And again, it's pretty fun. You can even create like I said, you can create birthday cards for your family and friends. Like you can create pretty much anything. So, and this is all content that is not that is yours. You don't have to like worry about copyright or like using it from the internet. Alrighty, so next one, yeah, so this is the picture that we generated. Like I said, don't stop there. You can create more, like get more creative. So like James in this lesson, he gave students tasks to come up with perfect prompts. And I feel like for language learning, coming up with prompts, this is a great way to learn how to communicate, because technically the student is learning to ask questions. And this is the most difficult when you're learning the language, right? It's easier for you to answer the question than to come up with your own question. And this is what they're training using, this is what they're being trained on when using ChatGPT. So you can continue more with this. You know, you can become like more creative. However, there was another feedback that I received from one of the teachers, and that's what she said. She said that I don't use ChatGPT much. It's a big black mirror-ish for me. But you know, because we started like discussing it, she decided to give it a go, to try it, and she asked ChatGPT to create an activity. And this is what it came up with. So she asked ChatGPT to create a grammar exercise where for advanced level students, the exercise has to be cinema and remakes, provide them with verbs they need to conjugate and fill in the gaps. So technically you have the whole activity ready for you from scratch in less than a minute. Like it's gonna take you like 30 seconds to write this prompt, and it's gonna take ChatGPT like 20 seconds to spit it out, you know. So that's what you have. Exercise where you need to complete the text with the correct verb form. So we know how often we use these activities in classrooms. So that's technically what you can do on regular basis, and you can reiterate. You can say like what tenses exactly you want ChatGPT to include in this activity. So I feel like creating like standard basic grammar activities is the easiest with ChatGPT. And also you can just copy paste it and add it to your like Google document in Microsoft Word Office, or like with the paid extension of ChatGPT can even put it in the Google Doc itself, or create a spreadsheet, for example, for you as well. Yeah, my other colleague uses ChatGPT just like Google, and she says it's better than Google. She uses ChatGPT as a tool to explain words, explain new vocabulary, you know, and creating examples with certain words and phrases. So it's great for vocabulary lessons. Again, you can give a list of phrases that you need to be explained, let's say, to intermediate or pre-intermediate level of students, so the ChatGPT will adjust its language. It's going to be more simple, and then you can put it in practice. Technically, I mean, you can use it in the classroom. Yeah. So DALL-E. Yeah. So that's DALL-E. Greg, you're saying that DALL-E is another picture generator. It's actually the plugin for ChatGPT. So if you have a paid version of ChatGPT, it's already built in there. I don't know. To be honest, I haven't used it. I think I've used it maybe like 2 years ago when they just released it like separately outside of ChatGPT. But in the paid version, it's already in the chat. Yeah, so it's really easy to use. Now I wanted to practice. I want us to practice. Let me know if you have access to any kind of AI, ChatGPT or Microsoft Bing, or I don't know, or ChatGPT. I think it will be the easiest one. I want you now to take a minute or two and create a lesson plan or an activity for your upcoming lesson on anything, on grammar, vocabulary, speaking, maybe pronunciation, you name it, whatever you need it. And I want you to structure your prompt using the formula that I shared today with you. Give your AI a role, describe an action, give more context, give an example, and talk about the format that you need. And then you can just share with us what you have. So let me know if you can do it, and we'll just take 2 minutes to, we'll just take 2 minutes to do this activity. Can you please put plus in the chat if you are able to do it right now, live? Awesome. We have some people who are going to do it. Amazing. All right. So please, a few minutes. I'm giving you a few minutes to do it, and then you can. There is an icon there to share. You can drop the link in the chat and share with us what you have. Actually, let me just show you how it works.
And we do have a question. We have two questions actually in the chat. One is by Michelle. I don't know if you have time right now, but she asked, could you please clarify what you mean by share the curriculum with ChatGPT?
Yes, great question, Michelle. So sharing the curriculum, let's say you have a curriculum, you have a plan that you need to teach your student throughout, let's say, 3 months, right? Or your curriculum is a textbook, is an ebook, right? So you can copy and paste this information, and you can ask ChatGPT to do certain things, like things that you need to create things that you need to be created, right? For example, you need to create tests for this curriculum, assessments after each lesson. ChatGPT will create that. Or you need to create extra activities for this curriculum that you already have. Let's say the school gave, like, for example, if you come to teach for English for IT for me, right? We have curriculum for certain, like for particular groups, for particular classes. So you can use this as your core program, like, you know, but you want to create something extra because no group is the same, right? You can be given a group of pre-intermediate students. Your curriculum is for pre-intermediates. However, this is a stronger pre-intermediate. So you can feed the information, the curriculum that you are given by the school, let's say, and ask ChatGPT to make it personalized, to personalize it for your group or for your student. So remember, I think the best quality, right, of AI is that it can make things personal, like it can personalize things. I hope I answered your question, Michelle.
And then there's another question that is really good too. This question was made by Rosario, and she said, I heard that ChatGPT database is up to 2021, meaning it's not updated to 2023. I believe that is correlated for ChatGPT 3.5. Is it also the case for ChatGPT 4 or for Bard or Bing? Or is there any
generative AI
tool?
Yeah, generative AI tool. Yeah, thank you. That's a good question. We actually discussed this earlier with Greg, and I said that I used ChatGPT 4 yesterday, searching for 2 days ago, searching for information that has to be taken from the internet, and ChatGPT 4 told me that I'm extracting this information from the internet. The only thing, the information that I requested was not like, I can't say like it was like recent, it had to be recent. So yeah, I'm not sure, but I feel like there has been an update. But definitely Bing is connected to internet, and Bard is connected to internet. I will have to, like, I had a feeling that ChatGPT 4 at least had some feature about it, but I can't tell you 100% that it was, the information was from 2023, because information that I was requesting was like general information, like the website of certain companies. That was it. But yeah, there is such a thing that ChatGPT, I don't know, either didn't or doesn't have access to the internet. But this is only like if you're searching for some up-to-date information, right? For example, some statistics. But you know, if it doesn't have this statistic, if it doesn't have this information, it will tell you, like, I only have information from 2021. So you will be aware what it's telling you. All right, so let me show you how you can actually share what you create on ChatGPT via a link. So let me share my screen here again. So look, the small talk activity that I created for you. So this is what I do. There is a share button here in the in the top right corner. Can you see it over here? Share link. Here, top right corner. So when you generate your thing and you want to share it with other people, like for example, you want to drop it now in the chat. So this is what you do. You hit copy link, and then you share it in the chat. There you go. Yeah. And then we can see your prompt if we hit on the link, and then we can see what ChatGPT told you. Okay, Greg, we have yours. And there was a question of what GPT stands for. It's generative pre-trained transformer. So we're transforming the way generative pre-trained transformer. We're using a pre-trained creature that generates like new things for transformation.
Got a question too on what is an agent? You referenced agent.
The agent? What do you mean?
There was a question on what do you mean by agent when you were
Oh,
talking
by agent. Yeah. So let me show you while we're here in my ChatGPT what the agent is. I mean, agent is the name that OpenAI is using for this new release for. So here is like, again, if you look at my ChatGPT now, let's say I wanted to create a role play. I mean, a small talk role play lesson. I created it in a separate chat. You see, now I want to, let's say, you see, I click here, ChatGPT, and I want to start a new thread, right? Like, let's say I have a new task for my AI. I wanted to create a new lesson. So I'm saying, you are an ESL teacher, create a warm-up activity, blah, blah, blah. You see, like every time you have a new request, that is like, you know, like new, like new niche, like new field. It's better to start the new chat, but also the agent, the new release that will, like I said, the new update that will allow you to create assistance for yourself. This is here. It is a paid version, so we can see here, explore. I hit explore, and it's loading. Stop working. I was like, you already know too much, guys. It's enough for you. It's enough for the day. I see it's froze. I don't know what's happening. So when you hit explore, then it has this new feature in the paid version where you can start creating your own agent. Like I said, it was released this here. You see, create GPT. I haven't explored it yet because it's less than a week. But I'm going to explore it, and I'll share it in my LinkedIn. If you guys are on LinkedIn, feel free to follow me and read about this experience that I'm going to have. Let's take a look at what you guys generated here. Jade, I'm going to pull your thing up here. Okay, so create a lesson plan for a single adult who is studying English, business English and grammar. Each session should be an hour. Give scrambled third conditional sentences for student to correct. Provide the materials needed, the phrases, vocabulary, activities required to help the student become a C level. Ensure, you just like want the whole course here. I love this. Ensure that you add extension activities in case the student understands the topic quickly. Provide additional resources if the student is interested in learning more. Amazing. Detailed. I love this. And this is what we'll have. You see, laptop markers, give the materials needed, session outline, warm-up activity, scramble sentences. Great. Application activity, extension activity. Are you happy, Jade, with what you have, or do you want to iterate more on this? Let's see what Greg has here.
Oh, that's actually a resource I posted, not a.
Yeah, I was going to share this resource as well, because I used some part of it, which I believed, I mean, this is a great resource, so definitely look into it. But the framework that I suggested today to use for AI prompting was taken from this resource. So very useful. Yeah, we will share it with Giovanna after with the presentation. Okay, awesome. Sounds great. Well, let me put back my presentation, and hopefully, you know, it was helpful here to do this activity. I would like, this brings me pretty much to the close of my presentation. We have some time for Q&As, for questions. I know we answered quite a few of them during the webinar, so it was really great that you guys were asking questions during the webinar. Let me know if there is anything else that we're missing or you want to ask or comment on.
Hi, Anna. Sorry, I'm just gonna answer because a lot of people have been asking me. I will be posting this webinar recording as well as the resources that Anna shared in our YouTube channel, but I will also be happy to email you the link to the recording as well as to the shared links and resources. I will be adding my email to the chat. If you could please send me an email saying that you would like the link, I'll be happy to send that for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I have one more thing to share with you. So here, first of all, people are asking about my LinkedIn. Here's my LinkedIn. I just shared it in the chat. Feel free to connect and stay in touch. If you have any questions down the road, feel free to DM me. I'll be happy to chat with you guys. And I also wanted to share briefly about the project that I'm that I am actually very excited and enthusiastic about. And in case there is anyone who would like to partner up with me on this project, I would love that. So when I moved to Florida from Ukraine, and when I moved my company English for IT, I actually saw a different application for what I'm building at English for IT. I saw the number of refugee population, the number of immigrant underrepresented population who don't speak good English, and who can't unfortunately see better work opportunities like tech jobs. Because Miami now has become a tech hub during COVID, because so many tech professionals from other parts of the US moved here because, you know, COVID was easier. I mean, not COVID was easier, but like the conditions were different here, and they moved their companies. So Miami needs to have more tech talent. And now the city is working on creating a tech talent. How I see I can help, and my English for Tech curriculum, we can, with the help of curriculum, we can help people improve their English. At the same time, we can introduce them to, we can introduce technology as a potential career path for them. So the curriculum that I have, English for Tech, or like I call it Tech ESL, right? This is learning English and the fundamentals of tech in the same class, right? And here, with the people will have an opportunity to discover various job opportunities. Well, so sorry, but the poorly structured sentence here. So I believe that this program would be great for immigrant population seeking to improve their finances, professionals who need to advance their English for career, because I know that a lot of ESL courses that are offered for free in Florida and across the states are very basic, and they're not enough. The level is not enough for for career. People who are switching careers and they need to improve English because, like, you know, their first language is not English. And also tech students, IT students who are immigrant IT students. So if you may be working with any of those, I would love to speak with you. And the way I see tech ESL program should work is, like, you know, we help people improve their tech ESL, then we can connect them, we show them the opportunities that they potentially have, then we can connect them with the boot camps where they can actually learn hard skills, right? Learn coding, or learn project management, or learn I don't know, other IT related things. And after the boot camp, they can get their first job. And one of my courses is now being used by Arizona State University. So this is great content. So we partnered up with them. They use this course for their international student, with their international student. And in less than a year, over 6,000 people have taken the course. So definitely there is demand for this. I just want to find a way to connect with the local Florida organizations so that we can upskill and reskill Florida population who needs and who is seeking this upskilling and reskilling. So if you want to jump on board, and I'm seeking partners to launch Tech ESL as a pilot course to see how it works, even like one pilot group. So I'm welcome to partner up with colleges, universities, schools, communities, language centers, other educational centers, so NGOs. So please, email me or connect with me. I'll be happy to give you more information.
Thank you, Anna. We're a little over on our time, so we're gonna wrap it up, but appreciate all the good information. If you're interested in being part of this pilot, let Anna know, and there's no cost to the program to be part of the pilot. If you're, we posted in the chat an evaluation. If you can take a few minutes and fill that out. And there's a lot of stuff under AI that we weren't able to touch on today. If there's stuff that you're particularly interested in, language assessment, translation, vocabulary building, grammar assistance, you know, these are the kinds of things that we'd love to maybe flesh out a little bit more in the future with you, because there's a lot that falls under this AI umbrella, in addition to some of the good things that Anna shared here, focused on lesson planning. So just let us know, and thank you for joining us. And thank you, Anna, for the presentation.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure. I hope it was useful, and let me know if you have any questions down the road. And let me know if you want another session with more advanced AI prompting down the road as well.
Okay, very good. Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon, everybody.